All right, let's get started. So I think it's worth mentioning I'm using a MacBook Pro, but this tutorial is identical in terms of its processes and steps for Mac and PC. So to get started, depending on which title pack you bought, maybe it's Film Titles Volume 1, Volume 2, Cinematic Titles, Iconic Movie Titles, this step process for Premiere Pro is identical for all these products. So for this tutorial, I'm gonna do film titles, but like I said, it's the same for all the title packs we offer. So when you download this product off of our website, after purchasing, you're gonna see a zip file, a .zip. So simply double click on that. It's gonna unzip the file and it should create a folder. So you can see right here. And when you double click on that folder, you're gonna see it's broken down into basically the different apps that this Film Titles works within, or whatever title pack you're using. And that's DaVinci, Final Cut, Photoshop, Premiere Pro, and we've got a README with some titles and stuff. But for the sake of this section of the tutorial, this is actually gonna be focusing on Premiere Pro. And the file structure of these is a .mogrt or a mogrt. I will say Premiere Pro is probably the easiest one out of all of the apps that this tutorial is going to cover, just because the film titles were built actually within After Effects, which is like a sister application in Adobe. So Premiere Pro, it works very, very seamlessly. So I'm going to open up Premiere Pro real quick. And this is a project I was working on. I've got a shot right here. And yeah, essentially how you want to get started is navigate over to the Essential Graphics tab within Premiere Pro. If you're not seeing this Essential Graphics where my mouse is hovering, no problem. Just make sure you're in the Editing tab, so you can see that's highlighted blue here, and navigate over to Window and make sure you click Essential Graphics. So for me, since it's open, you're gonna see a little check mark, and if you don't see it, just click on it, and it doesn't matter where it is on the screen. For the sake of this demonstration, my Essential Graphics panels is gonna be on this side of the screen. So under Browse, I'm going to, there you go. You're gonna see actually in the Essential Graphics, you maybe didn't know this, if you're kind of new to using titles in Essential Graphics, you're gonna see actually some just already in there. These are actually Essential Graphics or titles that I think Adobe just ships right off the jump. So yeah, you're gonna see some of these, maybe you've used them, maybe you've not. They're not particularly great, but don't let that confuse you. These are not ours. We haven't imported them yet, just letting you know that these do exist. So it's pretty simple. The next step is actually just drag and drop. So I'm gonna actually, just for the sake of this, kind of move this over. You kind of need to have both panels open. So I'm going to just drag and click, or if you're on a Mac, you can hit Command A and just drag to where you see the green plus. So you can kind of see it and just let go. So it's actually going to import the film titles. You may not notice anything, like I said, because there's a lot of Premiere Pro Essential Graphics already in there. So all you gotta do, if you want to make it a little easier, just type in film titles, no spaces, and enter. So here are the 20 film titles. Like I said, if you're following along and you're using the cinematic titles, iconic movie titles, it's the same process. So if I'm saying film titles, it's just because I'm walking you through with this product, but it works with all of the title packs we offer. So with that, you may actually also see something in the top right-hand corner that's a yellow T. And just to kind of show you real quick what that looks like, you see this yellow T? That yellow T indicates that you have not installed the fonts yet. The cool thing about having Premiere Pro is you have an Adobe subscription, and all of these titles were built using Adobe fonts, which is included with your Adobe subscription. So all you have to do is click the first one, which would be Galaxy, hold the Shift key, and click the last one. And I find it's a little easier, if you can see where my mouse is hovering, to actually make them a little smaller so you can like select them all. If you're looking at it and they're like really big, it makes it a little clunkier to navigate. So feel free to scale that down to where it's easy for you. I feel like this is pretty manageable for me. So just to repeat, click on Galaxy, hold Shift, click Country Strong, or the last one, which is number 20, and right click. And see how for me it says sync missing fonts and it's grayed out? That's because I've already actually installed all the fonts. But for you, if you're seeing that yellow T, just click that sync missing fonts. And with, like I said, with Adobe fonts, it's gonna actually go on Adobe's fonts library and install all the fonts for you. So it's really, really painless. So you click that, it'll take a moment to load, and then all those yellow T's should disappear. So yeah, I guess moving forward, just to kind of show you how this works, is you simply drag once they're installed and drag it over your footage, if you will. It's gonna take a moment to import, and don't worry about the size either, because obviously this was built with certain parameters and a certain canvas size, and your footage might be bigger or smaller. So if it's coming in and it's massive, or in this case it's small, do not worry. There's two ways you can adjust the size right off the jump. I find it's easy to select the film title. So let me just make this a little bit bigger so you can kind of see. Punch in. So I've got it selected, right? You can see I'm unselected. Now I'm selected. So with it selected, I find it's actually pretty helpful to go over to the effects controls and actually take the scale parameter, if it is coming up small, and scale it to taste, right? So I think right there looks good. Like I said, if you're using footage that maybe was like 1080p or smaller, it might be coming in like this, right? So you would just essentially scale it down to where you feel like it fits. There's no right or wrong answer. I feel like right here works really well for this title. And then the next step is you're gonna wanna hover over the Essential Graphics panel again, and you were in the Browse panel. That's where we actually found this and imported them. But if you hover over to Edit, which is right next to Browse, you're gonna see some parameters that are gonna allow you to basically further manipulate this. Because these are film titles that are pre-built, but obviously the color, obviously the text in the title, all can be changed. So obviously this is just template text, so you may wanna change this to, let's just say this is a short film called The Last Road. And then basically all you have to do is kind of click outside of that little box and it should update. There you go. And the header, I'm not gonna worry about right now. And maybe I don't really like this letterbox, so I'm just gonna uncheck that box. And then I may just move over to the scale back in the effects controls, scale it to taste, and that looks pretty good. I mean, like I said, really just drag, drop, and hovering over the edit tab, you can kind of manipulate it to taste. And there is different scale parameters and position parameters in here too. I find it's easier to go over to the effects controls and scale from there because it's gonna scale the whole asset versus this may actually just scale individual assets. There really is no right or wrong way to do this. It's really to your liking. So yeah, hopefully that was helpful. Premiere Pro, super straightforward. To recap, you drag and drop the Mogerts into the Essential Graphics panel. You go over to Browse, find the one you want, go over to Edit, tweak the text, and yeah, you should be pretty good. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up this tutorial. I hope this was very helpful for you guys. This is one of our favorite packs from Tropic, so we're excited for you guys to dive in and try it out. If you do have any issues or bugs or glitches, don't hesitate. Our support team is there to help you. You can reach our support team at tropicolor@gmail.com. Otherwise, excited for you guys to use this product, and yeah, keep creating.